Number the town with only one resident vertical bar, the loneliest town in America. Imagine waking up every morning in a town where there are no neighbors, no children playing in the streets, no traffic, no crowded shops, no schools, no busy restaurants, just silence. And you, alone. It sounds like something from a movie, a forgotten place lost in time. Yet deep in the vast landscapes of America, there are tiny communities that have nearly vanished, and some have become so small that only one person remains. This is the story of America's loneliest town. A story about isolation, history, survival, and one remarkable person who refused to leave. Our journey begins in the wide-open lands of the American West. For hundreds of years, these regions were home to explorers, ranchers, miners, and dreamers. During the 19th century, thousands of settlers crossed mountains and deserts, searching for opportunity. Small towns appeared everywhere. A railway station was built. A few stores opened. Families arrived. Schools welcomed children. Church bells rang every Sunday. Life flourished. Many of these communities were created because of a single resource: gold, silver, coal, oil. As long as those resources remain valuable, the towns continue to grow. But when the mines closed or the railroads changed routes, people began leaving. Some towns slowly shrank. Others disappeared completely. Nature reclaimed abandoned buildings. Wooden houses collapsed. Dust covered empty roads. These places became known as ghost towns. Yet not every town vanished entirely. In some places, one resident stayed behind. One person remained to protect the memories of an entire community. Imagine owning an entire town, every street, every building, every story. That responsibility can feel both incredible and heartbreaking. Our story follows one such resident. For decades, this town had been home to hard-working families. Children once filled the classrooms. Local stores served travelers. Community events brought everyone together. The town was small, but it was alive. Then change arrived. The younger generation moved to larger cities. Jobs became harder to find. Businesses closed. The population dropped year after year. 10 residents became 5, 5 became 3, 3 became 2. Eventually, only 1 remained. Many people would leave. Most would search for a more comfortable life elsewhere. But this resident chose differently. Every morning begins the same way. The sun rises over empty roads. The wind moves through abandoned buildings. Birds become the loudest sound in town. There is no morning rush, no traffic jams, no crowded sidewalks. Just endless quiet. Some people would find such isolation unbearable, yet others discover peace in it. Living alone in an entire town creates unusual challenges. Simple tasks become difficult. There are no nearby services, no grocery store around the corner, no neighbors to call for help. Every repair becomes a personal responsibility. When a building needs maintenance, there is no city crew. When storms arrive, there is often nobody else around. The resident becomes mayor, caretaker, historian, and protector all at once. Visitors occasionally arrive. Curious travelers stop to take photographs. Many cannot believe someone actually lives there. They ask questions. Why stay? Why not move away? The answer is usually simple: because this place is home. Home is more than buildings. It is more than population numbers. Home is memory. It is connection. It is belonging. Every street contains a story. Every structure represents part of the past. For the lone resident, leaving would mean abandoning generations of history. As years pass, the town becomes something unusual. It transforms into a living museum. Visitors come not only to see empty buildings, but to hear stories. Stories about the families who once lived there. Stories about celebrations. Stories about hardship. Stories about hope. The lone resident becomes the keeper of those memories. Without that person, many stories might disappear forever. America has always been a nation of movement. People travel in search of opportunity. Cities rise. Towns grow. Communities change. But places like this remind us that progress often leaves something behind. Thousands of small communities across the country have experienced similar struggles. Population decline affects many rural areas. Young people leave for education and employment. Businesses follow larger populations. Services become difficult to maintain. The cycle continues. Yet despite these challenges, small towns possess a unique character. They preserve history. They preserve traditions. They remind us of earlier chapters in the nation's story. Standing in a nearly empty town can feel like stepping into another era. Old signs remain. Historic buildings still stand. The past feels surprisingly close. For the lone resident, daily life becomes a balance between solitude and purpose. There are moments of loneliness that is unavoidable. Humans are social creatures. We thrive through connection. But there are also moments of extraordinary beauty. Sunsets without noise. Star-filled skies untouched by city lights. Silence so complete that every sound feels meaningful. Many visitors are surprised by this perspective. They arrive expecting sadness. Instead, they discover resilience. They discover determination. They discover someone who refuses to let history disappear. Perhaps that is what makes this story so powerful. It is not really about being alone. It is about commitment. It is about preserving something valuable. It is about remembering where we came from. In a world that moves faster every year, places like this encourage us to slow down, to appreciate community, to appreciate history, to appreciate the people who quietly dedicate themselves to protecting both. One day, perhaps, new residents will arrive. Perhaps the town will experience a revival. Or perhaps it will eventually become another ghost town remembered only through photographs and stories. Nobody knows for certain. But for now, one resident remains. One person continues opening the door each morning. One person continues greeting visitors. One person continues protecting the memory of an entire community. And in doing so, that individual teaches us an important lesson. A town is not defined by its size. It is defined by the people who care about it. Even if only one person remains, thank you for joining this journey into one of America's most fascinating places. And remember, sometimes the smallest towns tell the biggest stories.